Hi, friends. Welcome back to the channel. I did not want to have to do this to you, but unfortunately, it's how the timing has worked out. So today I have to record. I'm sick. I probably sound a little sick. I don't feel very sick, which is why I'm recording this, but I definitely sound sick. So I'm so sorry, but I had to do it today. So you're just going to have to put up with me sounding a little nasally and sick. And so I'm so sorry. But what I'm not sorry about and what I'm very excited about is this has been a secret. It's still a secret when I'm recording this. But by the time this episode comes out, it will not be a secret anymore, which is I have a new free workshop that I would have announced yesterday by the time this comes out called Become That Girl in Your Marketing. And I'm so excited for this. I have been sitting on this one. I've been keeping this one a secret. I've been thinking about it and brainstorming it for months. And so I've just been doing a lot of free things lately and just a lot of new things. And so this is my latest new thing. And I'm really excited because everyone's been really excited for the free things lately and even the paid things. So I'm just excited to bring in the next thing. So Become That Girl in Your Marketing is my latest free workshop where you're going to learn my strategic and energetic approach to marketing that is going to have you standing out so much that it doubles your income like so many of my clients do. It's going to help you have your audience wake up ready to binge your content, and it's going to make your holy crap, I can't believe this is my lifestyle that you're desiring a reality. This workshop is really going to break down and show you, first off, the skills that my clients master that has them going from frustrated and blending in with the masses to confidently marketing, stepping into their unique leadership, and people literally going onto Instagram just to read what they have to say. It's going to show you how to drop all that pressure and that fear and scarcity around marketing and earning way more that leads my clients to consistently hit their highest cash months to date. That is so typical and unlimited. And I love it. So I'm going to tell you how to do that exactly. And the third area we're really going to focus on in this workshop is having you really learn what it takes to stand out, build brand loyalty, and have your audience knowing that they want to work with you from the minute they find you and already knowing that once they're in, they're going to stay. That is very possible. And I'm doing this because I want to make marketing easy for you because marketing is easy. Marketing is easy. And if it doesn't feel that way, it's because you haven't yet learned my way. And so I'm really excited to have this workshop and really make it easy for you. And so the workshop will be Monday, December 4th at 12 p.m. EST. You will have the chance to win a week of one-to-one Voxer by coming live. We'll also have a client panel that everyone is obsessed with. We'll have a Q&A and you'll have the chance to be coached by me. So you can go to the show notes to register, but I'm so excited about it. We already have literally I'm recording this days in advance and we already have well over 20 people signed up and I haven't even announced it yet. And so I know it's just going to be chock full of people. It's going to be a good time and you're going to want to come so you can become that girl in your marketing. Let's dive into today's episode. Today's episode is all about the things that I did to create my first $100,000 within the first 6 months of my business and what I would really lean into to create your first or even your next $100,000 faster. I've been talking to one-to-ones recently about this. I've been talking to one-to-ones and I've just noticed a couple times where I've said, oh, that's something that I really did even at the beginning of my business that led to such fast success. And so I finally just compiled some of those things that I was saying to them. These are things that I did from day one. And I think I never had a slow season in business. And it's because I walked in guns blazing with confidence. And I did these things from day one. I was so strong and convicted and such a leader and so confident in what I'm about to share with you. And I really believe that if you amplify what I'm sharing with you to the max, it will become so much easier to earn faster. And I literally waltzed, danced, easily walked my way into my first six figures in my first 6 months. And I believe every single person can do the same. I was so strong on what I'm sharing with you that it made it very easy to make that happen. So combined with the workshop that is free, that is on December 4th, that you absolutely should register for if you haven't already. And this episode, I want you to feel like marketing and creating and really just raising your earning potential is easy. Let's get into it. The first thing, I have a whole episode on this, but I wanted to just give it the spotlight again, which is momentum and traction that people are so desperately looking for in their business is a feeling that from day one until today that I would go actively create for myself, not wait to have it come to me. And what I was telling my client about the other day is momentum and traction really aren't a real thing. Unless you decide a true metric of what is the measure of momentum in your business, which most of you listening have not done, which you don't have to, but it's not like we have this idea of what momentum is. We just one day decide that we have it. So it's not a real thing. It's just a feeling. It doesn't have to come momentum, traction. They don't have to come once there's quote unquote tangible evidence. You can just decide to create it for yourself. So early in my business, I chose every single day to find traction and to feel momentum. I always felt like things were happening. I was moving so fast. So much was growing and going on. And it's not because that was actually happening. It was because I chose to look at things in a way in which I felt momentum. I was constantly looking at the good things happening, what was working, how could I get better? How is this already working for me versus the unsupportive aspects? In the first couple months, I did not have traction. I didn't know if anyone was looking. I didn't know if anyone was considering working with me. I had what I would say I was having a lot more conversations in the DMs. I think partially because I was new and I was really excited. And so I was willing to dedicate way more time there. Two, I think in the time of 2020, people just were locked up in their houses and really bored. And so I think people were engaging a lot more. And I think nowadays, now that we're, thank God, past all of that, people are living their lives more. And so I think, I don't know, I didn't consider that to be traction. I was just so excited and I let that excitement really drive me. But I didn't have people inquiring. I didn't have people saying that they wanted to work with me. I didn't have any tangible evidence that there was momentum. I chose to feel momentum. And I think what a lot of this point is about, and if you want to look at it a different way, I have always been very strong at self-validating instead of relying on external validation from others. And that's really what it is. When anyone I'm gonna be blunt. If anyone comes whining to me that they don't have momentum or traction, it's because they're relying on other people to tell them that they're doing a good job. And I don't need to rely on other people to tell myself that. I'll just tell myself that because when we decide to feel momentum, and again, it is a choice. When we decide to feel momentum, it makes it, and we find the good, we find what is working, we find how we are getting better and all of those aspects. It makes it easier for us to keep going and keep going with excitement versus what I see happen a lot is that people will go and they're excited, but then when they don't get the validation, they pull back. And that's a vicious cycle to get into. And I never from the get-go got in that cycle. And so if you're only going by sales or by inquiries for determining whether you have momentum or traction, it will always be cheap and easy to go into the mentality of this isn't working and people don't care and my marketing isn't good enough. I didn't go into that. And I still, to this day, will not go into that. Even if I'm not making sales and things are feeling a little slow, why would I go into that? It's not beneficial in any way. It doesn't make me problem solve. It doesn't turn my creativity on. It doesn't promote self-belief. So I just won't go there. And I, since day one, have always chosen to create that momentum for myself and really self-validate in the interim between getting the sales and inquiries so that I created the belief that people cared, so that I created the belief that it was working when it is uncertain, when I did have that silence. And I think that is such an important skill to have and a realization to have that momentum and traction, it's not based off of tangible evidence or external validation. It's a feeling that you choose to create and should choose to create so that you can take audacious fast action in your business. Number 2 is that I was in complete and total gratitude of holy shit, I can't believe this is my life energy, even when I was working a 9 to 5, which really, if I'm being quite honest, was not a 9 to 5. And I'll get into that in a minute. So from day one, I just had such complete and total gratitude and pride around what I was doing. I I love telling this story, and people sometimes tell it back to me, which I think is amazing, about my days of my furniture touching. So when I first started my business, a lot of what people remember is, "Oh, but you lived in San Francisco and it was so cool and you already had such an amazing life," and they've romanticized my life, but what they're not understanding is I was just actually romanticizing my own life. But the reality of it, and I wasn't hiding it. You can if I pull up my Instagram archives, you can see my furniture touching. But when I started my business, I was living in a room in San Francisco where I didn't necessarily get around. I found this place on Facebook. Found it on Facebook. I didn't really know the people I lived with. And my room was so small that my dresser touched my desk, which touched my chair, which touched my nightstand, which touched my bed. Like every piece of my furniture was touching. I couldn't even pull out my desk chair because it was so cramped in. So I had to shimmy into my desk chair. And it just like it was a very dark room. I wasn't having a good time there necessarily. And my job, my quote unquote 9 to 5, was not a 9 to 5. I would actually wake up at 5 a.m. because I was working East Coast hours. So I would wake up 5 a.m., immediately get on my computer, and I worked such long hours that I would still be working till 6 p.m. San Francisco time, which is 9 p.m. Eastern time. And I was just working a lot. It wasn't like this romanticized time, but I remember the the feeling that got me through so many things was, oh my God, I'm an entrepreneur. And I had such pride in that. I couldn't believe that was me because for so many years in my life, I struggled to even think that I was good enough at anything really. I could come up with a whole 500-page list of things that I didn't think I was good enough for. And having grown my confidence before starting my business, it made it so when I started, I was just in this complete and total gratitude. And I'll say to it, the job not only was long hours, but it was really hard for me. I'd had some trauma happen at work. I was working these 40 to 60-hour weeks, which was honestly light compared to what I worked in the past. And still, complete and total gratitude and pride. I'm just going to say it. You know what's not cute? Whining that your life isn't where you want it to be, feeling like you aren't living the life you want and complaining about it when it's well within your ability to create it. So I didn't like my corporate job anymore. I was so depressed and I was so not happy with where I was. So I changed it. And I think if you're not proud of where you are, there's a lot of factors, of course, that can be at play, but it's also because part of you, let me be very clear, is choosing to not be proud of where you are. And when you're running a business, and this episode is much more around creating more money in your business, but when you're running a business and you're not having this pride and this gratitude and being in amazement of what you've already created, people are going to feel that. And I think when you do have that, it will get you 100 times further than frustration, resentment, disbelief. I remember I even at the beginning had pride that I was just writing captions because for so many years of my life, I had this story that I wasn't creative. So me even writing captions and having enough thoughts to write a couple captions a week was such a big deal. And I celebrated that. And so if you're sitting there frustrated and upset that you're doing less than 100K a year, number one, absolutely join Unlimited. I will change that there. But two, this is probably a big reason why, if you're just constantly thinking that you should be further and it's so hard and you're not proud of where you are, being proud of where you are will really make a difference. I think something that was just so powerful my first 6 months and has continued to be really powerful in my business and helping me continually raise my earning potential is that people can feel how happy I am in what I'm doing, and people can feel how much I love what I'm doing and how I'm just so in it. I'm just really in love with it. And going back to because I said I was depressed in corporate too, I still have struggled with depression all of the time, but my gratitude and pride doesn't go away through that. And so maybe it's just the nature of what I do, but I can sniff out in seconds when people are marketing from doubt or when they're upset about where they are in business. And I think other people can subconsciously sense it too. And I think it's just so hard to be turning heads with your marketing, impressing the hell out of people, converting clients within days of them finding you, making $100,000 in 6 to 12 months or even faster when you're shaming yourself for where you are. That is a really big thing that I would focus on switching if you wanted to make your first or next $100,000 faster.
Taking a quick break so that you can hear from my clients. I love what I've created with my clients and what they've been able to do from our coaching, but I don't want you to just take my word for it. Here's what some of my clients have had to say while working together.
I would tell somebody that's nervous to join Unlimited, don't walk, run. Run towards Unlimited because you will be running towards your biggest dreams and achieving them faster than you ever thought possible.
The third thing is I was totally focused on service over sales from the first day in my business. This doesn't mean I didn't want money or I didn't need money or anything of that. It has nothing to do with that. It's that I knew I would do better and I would be happier focused on service. And a lot of the people who follow me, I'm sure, are the same way. This is what it comes down to. When you're so focused on what others need instead of yourself, you will very rarely slow down, have the spirals feel quote unquote not enough. That currently plagues you. A lot of what you're feeling, the spiraling, the doubting, the slowing down, the not earning fast enough, whatever, is because you're focused on yourself instead of your people. I can't even express how much this was my focus. And it even hit me the other day. I was coaching Unlimited and I had said to them exactly this, that a huge reason that I was so successful my first year compared to what a first year in business looks like for many people is because I was so and utterly completely focused on my people rather than myself. And it hit me, it literally hit me like a freight train. I was like, oh shit, I didn't even realize how much I was focused on service then. Honestly, to a degree in which now I look back and I'm like, I got to get more like my first year self because she was so on that. She was so good about that. I just think this is genuinely a very rare quality that I don't often see in people. And I think when you do see it in people, they have higher sales than the people who are focused on sales. I think what really helped me become so completely focused on service is I trusted the sales would come. And the ability to do that comes from my high self-belief. And that's something that we really focus on building in Unlimited is that audacious self-belief and the skills for you to create unrealistic success. And so much of the curriculum in Unlimited is what allowed me to trust sales would come and therefore completely focus on service. And I knew even from day one in my business, I knew that if I focused on service, that would be the most important and the most impactful. And therefore the sales would come if I did that. I think what a lot of people do, I think a lot of people are running their business from scarcity. And so I think what they're doing is when you're in scarcity, you're going to focus on the sales because you think the sales will get you out of the scarcity. But that it doesn't work out like that usually. When you have the confidence, which again, join Unlimited if you don't, because this will change everything. This one point would change your whole business. But when you have the confidence, you're not so focused on what will people think of me and is this even good enough? Or am I going to sell this? That kind of scarcity and doubt that you have around yourself and your abilities in your marketing will dissipate. And so because you have the confidence and you're less focused on yourself, you can have so much more of your brain power focused on your people. And when you're so focused on your people instead of your needs or what's going on with you, you can serve them better. And when you serve them better, they will trust you more. They'll want to pay you more. They'll work with you more and you'll have higher sales. One of my clients the other day too brought up, she had the thought of, what if my content's not resonating with people? And I asked her where that thought came from. And one of the things that I told her is that it took people, yes, I made my first my $100,000 in 6 months, But it did take, I think 2 months. It took 2 months for me to get someone to buy my first offer. But I did not in that time. What I was not doing in that time was spending every day wondering if my content would resonate with people, if it was working, if it was good. Instead, I focus on the service. And so, what my brain was actually focusing on was how can I speak to my people more? How can I pour more love into this? How can I go deeper? Am I hiding a bit? Because so long as I'm hiding, they're hiding too. So let me be brave so they can be brave. How can I be more myself here? What do they need to hear today? Am I sharing all the thoughts that cross my brain on this? Where can I share even more? And again, just that complete and total belief that this will work, this will work, this will work. I don't need to know when. I just need to continue to trust, build trust in my audience, build belief, exercise celebration at every corner, get excited for the growth rather than the sales, and continue leaning in more and more. Change this one thing in your business, which becomes so easy with the unlimited curriculum, and your income will drastically change.
Taking a quick break so that you can hear from my clients. I love what I've created with my clients and what they've been able to do from our coaching, but I don't want you to just take my word for it. Here's what some of my clients have had to say while working together.
And I would say, like, if you're nervous to join Unlimited, honestly, everyone in there has been nervous to join Unlimited. But once we're in there, like, everyone is so thankful, so gracious. And, like, we know that, like, we are in a community of women that are going to build us up and help us grow. And so it is 100% worth it. And I'm so grateful that I finally took that leap for myself because it has grown my business so much. And I'm in such a happier mental headspace with it. So I would just say, like, get on a call with Makenzie and just, like, hear her out. There's going to be no pressure on the call to sign or whatsoever. She's going to help you just support you and work through things that are holding you back. But just, like, talking to her makes you feel like already feel so reassured. So I definitely just recommend, if you are nervous, just get on a sales call, just talk to her. Getting on there is a huge step and you should take it.
The fourth thing was I stayed so completely in my own lane. There was not comparison. There wasn't looking at what she's doing, trying what others worked. I was just doing me. I couldn't have given a fuck back then if I was doing what other people were doing, what other people were selling, what other people were talking about, the trends in the industry. I didn't care because why would I? I had such deep, high self belief on my own that I could rely on myself. I trusted that what I had in my head will create the goals that I wanted and more. Again, if you don't have that, join Unlimited. We'll fix that really quick. But I just don't think people can. I don't know if you've ever heard the phrase, I feel like it's bigger in meditation, but the idea that you can't think a thought and focus on your breath at the same time. Try it out for a sec, but you can't fully focus. Apparently, it's how it works. You can't fully. And now that I'm saying this out loud, I'm like, did I just make that up or did I hear that somewhere? But the idea that you can't fully focus on your breathing and have thoughts at the same time, I think if we take that concept and apply it here, I don't think you can grow yourself when you're focusing on others. So when I say I came guns blazing out of the gates, it's because I was so high in my own self belief that I didn't need to compare. And I really think you've probably heard it from me before. Comparison is a sign that you don't believe you can have what other people have, or you don't believe you can do what they're doing. And so if I've ever felt an inkling of comparison, I know there's a self belief gap that I have to fix immediately. That is where you should be focusing, not on what they're doing, not on what they're selling, not on what they're saying, on fixing your self belief. Because when you are so in your own self trust, when you are so in your own lane, you can go so much faster. I was I just came out so strong, and it really was because of this. Is I just wasn't caring what other people were doing. It was me, myself, and I trying to create the life that I wanted, and I was very determined to create, which is the life that I'm living today, and very determined to help other women never feel the way I had felt before, which was not enough. I never wanted anyone to feel that again. So I let my passion be so strong. I let my belief be so strong that nothing could slow me down. And I had blinders on. And if you're comparing, I don't care if you've made 500,000, if you've made 50K, whatever it is, if you've got comparison going on, absolutely come join any one of my containers, and taking this away will allow you to go so much faster. Because When you're comparing, you're allowing in so much noise. You're allowing a lot of conditioning. You're probably allowing in a lot of scarcity, and you're letting the idea that, and again, I like to believe comparison, if that is happening, it is a symptom of you not believing you can have, do, or be what someone else has. So if you are letting comparison live and live and live, you're just continually allowing the idea that you can't do or have that or be that. And I think that is going to cut your success down every time. So at the beginning, and even to this day, I stay very focused on my own lane. And again, if I notice comparison happening, I fix it instantly because I know it slows me down. And the fifth point that I wanted to bring to this episode, I believed from day one beautiful thoughts about my audience. I saw them as people who were smart, who were capable, who could figure out anything they wanted. This point is so, so, so underrated. I was not for a second doing the whole, but they can't afford it, or they're not willing to pay, or what if they don't understand what I'm saying, or they only care about this or that. They don't care about confidence. My audience is smart. They can figure shit out. If I understand it, they're going to understand it. They're just as capable and worthy and savvy and all the things as I am, if not more. It is really tough to try to get people to work with you when you're looking down on them, when you're not giving them enough credit, when you think you're above them, when you think they don't understand what you're trying to say, when you think they're not interested. It's really tough. And so while this one is very underrated, I think the more that you love on your audience, the more that you just are so excited to want to work with them and feel so honored that they're following you, feel so honored that they're giving you their time, whether even if it's just watching something that you put out or reading a piece of your marketing or content or working with you, whatever it is. I feel so honored that these people are letting me in on their lives, are consuming what I have to say in a world where there's a lot to consume. I think the most beautiful thoughts about them, I hold them to a very high standard because of that. Not only do they feel that, but also once they get in my containers, they succeed even faster because I'm just holding them to such a high standard. And so this one is very, very underrated, but you need to think the most beautiful thoughts about your audience. Stop thinking that they don't get it, that they don't like you, that they can't figure it out, that they can't, whatever. Think the best thoughts about them. That will go so, so, so far. If you haven't already, absolutely go to my show notes and click to sign up for the free workshop, Become That Girl in Your Marketing. We're going to take like this. I really like this episode. I think this was a great episode. We're going to take things like this and really put it all into this 2-hour extravaganza to make marketing easy for you so that you can start doubling your income, make money from just confidently being yourself, and really create the impact in the life that you have been wanting. We're going to make it so easy for you. So go ahead and sign up for the workshop. And after the workshop is when Unlimited is coming back. And Unlimited is my 12-month, my year-long group program for female founders who are ready to build audacious self-belief and the skills to create unrealistic success using confident marketing. Inside, we coach on confidence, we coach on life, we coach on business so that you can become a minimum of 25% financially and emotionally richer. The investment for this is $6,000 for a year of coaching, a year of the best, most bingeable curriculum, and literally the best community you will ever have in your entire life. So the door is open after the workshop, but you can always book your call or buy before or within 48 hours of the workshop to receive a 2-hour bonus intensive with me. Unlimited continues to sell out faster and faster and faster. And so if this is a room you want to be in, make sure that you are booking your call, buying as soon as possible so that you can come join in the magic. So thank you so much for listening. I had so much fun this episode. Hopefully you could get through my sick voice, and I'll catch you in the next one.